Timur Ivanov, a Russian two-star general, was arrested in Russia 2 days ago and charged with receiving a bribe. Oh, what's the big deal, right? Just another small-time crook, considering the size of the bribe he received, $11,000. On the countrywide scale, that's a tiny event, a speck of dust, as it seems, $11,000, general. Yet, Timur Ivanov's arrest is the event of a huge importance. It is of the same magnitude as Private Army Wagner mutiny and successful march onto Moscow. That's Timur Ivanov being arrested, and the judge announces his arrest. The arrest of Ivanov is the sign that Russian elites have entered a new phase of existence. Remember that phase was described by Sir Winston Churchill. Kremlin political intrigues are comparable to a bulldog fight under a rug. Only now it's not just pushing and pulling and growling and barking, it's teeth deep into others' necks situation. Timur Ivanov is the first victim that shows that the war of the elites is on. Howdy, howdy everyone, my name is Konstantin and welcome to Inside Russia, where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. No propaganda, BS or lies here, only truth, common sense and logic, and some emotions too, because I'm a human being after all. Today is a bit unusual stream, no live stream chat again. I'm still not feeling 100%, so, you know, I'll just leave with a message and a prayer. Again, I want to emphasize this is huge. Today's message is huge. You most likely don't know who Timur Ivanov is and why he is so important. I'll tell you everything. Just watch this stream until the end. But first things first. Before I start, I want to remind everyone of my opinion how this war between Russia and Ukraine will end. I think that Ukraine will win, but the win will not come from the front lines, but from the inside Russia. To say even more precisely, it's not that Ukraine will win, but Russia will lose and implode. And this is why I believe so. Ukraine is united and Ukrainians are defending their homeland. They know exactly what they're fighting for and their will is strong. Russians, on the contrary, have no clue why and what for they're fighting. Both common folks and the elites. The elites have been under tremendous pressure for the most part. They're not welcome anymore outside Russia. Their assets are getting frozen, seized. Inside the country, things have also changed for them. The force that is holding everyone and everything together in Russia, including the elites, is the dictator, the Dark Lord. We all know who that is. But it becomes increasingly more difficult for him to maintain balance. Before, Putin used carrots. And there were plenty of carrots for everyone, ripe, big and tasty sweet carrots. Russia is a very rich country, so there are plenty of carrots to give out. You know, oil companies, metallurgical plants, you name it, just so many carrots. But not anymore. It all ended in February of 2022. The war costs lots of money, you know. Now Putin has significantly fewer carrots and the carrots have become smallish and greenish, not so tasty. And there's not enough carrots for everyone. And the fewer carrots, the bloodier the fight for the remaining ones. Russia is not a democracy. It's not built on people self-governing, free elections, honest court system, and other wonderful things. It's built on power. The strongest man, the king of the hill, gets the unlimited prize. Absolute power. But guess what happens when you are on the very top of that hill? There are plenty of others desiring to replace you. You can appease them by throwing carrots, Or when the carrots are gone, you must take out your whip. And you stay on that top of that hill for as long as your whip is the strongest and the longest. And this is why I think Russia will lose and implode. The system of power that Putin has built is not sustainable because he cannot be as strong forever. And the very first second he becomes weak, he's gone just like that, and the system will descend into chaos. Now, let's talk of Timur Ivanov. The chances are you probably don't know who Timur Ivanov is. Moreover, most Russians have never heard of the guy. You really need to have a deep understanding of what the vertical of power is and how it works to know this guy. Timur Ivanov is a Russian general, a deputy of Sergey Shoigu, the Minister of Defence of Russia. Since 2016, before he headed the Oboronstroi for 3 years, an organization inside Ministry of Defense responsible for every single construction project, big or small. And before that, he worked in Moscow province government under Sergey Shoigu, when his boss and the closest friend Sergey Shoigu was the governor. As the Deputy Minister of Defense, Ivanov oversaw the construction, upgrading, renovation, and overhauling of all ministries' facilities, military and civil. He oversaw military mortgages financing department that is huge, and he was responsible for housing and medical support for the armed forces of Russian Federation, entire armed forces, property management, and troops quartering. Ivanov managed all major military construction projects, including the construction of the Church of Russian Armed Forces. Yes, such church does exist. It doesn't make any sense, but it does exist. Also, he oversaw and managed the construction of the Patriot Park, the Vostochny Spaceport. You gotta understand, those projects are absolutely huge. And after the full-scale invasion of Russian troops to Ukraine, he oversaw the project to restore occupied Mariupol. That is a project is even bigger than building the spaceport. So I think you understand that Timur Ivanov is the richest Silovik by far, and one of the richest Russians now. Absolute, one of the, on the very top. The cream of the crop of the riches. So much construction, so much money flew through Ivanov, And Timur Ivanov never hid his fortune. Him, like many other Russian officials, was showing off. And boy, was he showing off in style or what. And this is Timur Ivanov and his beautiful wife. Everyone knew that Ivanov's family possessed and spent much more than their households combined, official income was. Timur Ivanov is the government official with a modest salary. And here, look, it's none other than, oops. I want you to show this guy first. None other than Dmitry Peskov, Putin's press secretary. Turns out Ivanov and Peskov are good friends, and the wives of Peskov and Ivanov are also girlfriends. Nice, huh? So, yeah, that's Ivanov's right here. Ivanov's gorgeous wife. And this is one of their mansions or houses or homes or, whatever it is. It's and this is how it looks on the inside. The rumors have it, this place alone cost around $20 million. Nice bathroom. I'd like to have one of those. Actually, I'd like to live in one of those. That's probably bigger than one of my previous apartments. And this is again Ivanov. He liked to party, to drink. He was out there in public. Photographers were taking pictures of him all the time. And his wife and Kovalchuk, one of Putin's closest friends, if not the closest friend. Powerful friends this guy has. So, question is, where did all those mansions inside and outside Russia, and oh yes, the family still owns, I don't know, quite a few properties outside Russia. So where did all those mansions, dozens of expensive supercars, luxury vacations in the south of France come from? Hey, we all know, we all live in Russia. Well, they live in Russia, I don't anymore. But this is the Russian way. After all, Ivanov worked hard getting to the very top, and that is his reward, billions of dollars. This is how Russia works. You get the power first. You become part of this power system, and you climb the ladder. And the higher you climb, the more reward you get, the bigger bribes you get. The more influence you have, and you trade it for money. So the Ivanov got to the very, very top of the armed forces. He was controlling everything, whatever makes money, whatever the military forces were paying the contractors for. Ivanov was there. That was his department. That's how Russia works, and that's the rules of the game. We know them well. But the game got much, much more interesting 2 days ago, when Timur Ivanov, the wallet and the best friend of Sergey Shoigu, the untouchable, was arrested by the powerful now KGB, well, I'd say all-powerful KGB, right in his workplace. He was taken to court, and this happened. That's a pretty embarrassing moment for a two-star general. And it's a pretty embarrassing moment for his boss and for the armed forces, altogether. Ivanov was charged with allegedly receiving a bribe of a large amount according to Part 6 of Article 290 of Russia's Criminal Code. And the bribe amount, a whopping 1 million rubles, or $11,000. Really? Honestly, I think Ivanov spends that much tipping waiters at Moscow's most expensive restaurants that he frequents. Well, he frequented. The charge is laughingstock. It's obvious that the alleged bribe is an excuse for his arrest. The arrest of an untouchable. No, the untouchable. Sorry. The arrest of the untouchable. Just so you know, Ivanov's wife, they divorced in 2022 on papers, but in reality, they're still a strong family. They just needed that divorce, official divorce. She disappeared at the same time as her husband was arrested. The rumors have it that SILOVIKI at KGB are working hard with her, perhaps asking questions. All family members, including children, both Ivanov, his wife, and the parents' bank accounts have been frozen immediately after his arrest in Russia. That does not happen because of $11,000 bribe, 1 million. No. It's something much more serious than that. By the way, the news keep on coming, and including the news about Ivanov. I want to let you know that every single day I carefully select 9 news from Russia that I find important and make them available to Inside Russia patrons. So if you want to receive daily 9 updates of important news, accidents, new laws, arrests, SILOVIKI, economic news, prices, you name it, whatever I find important and shows Russia better. So everything important, if you want to get that, and be in the know, please become the channel Patreon at patreon.com, and I'll leave a link down below in the description. But back to the message. It is obvious that we're seeing the facade of a much bigger game. Let's answer 3 questions. Why Timur Ivanov? Why now? And who is behind? Question number 1. Why Timur Ivanov, the untouchable? Obviously, he is not the target. His boss, Sergey Shoigu, is. Sergey Shoigu is quite a character. He's a close friend of Putin. They go way back. And he's one of those people that Vladimir Putin trusts, and that's rare. After all, Putin has trusted Sergey Shoigu with the armed forces. And the army is one single most powerful force there is. There's no resistance against the army. I give you 2 examples. 20th of August, 1991. Coup in Russia happening. It was Russian Army's General Lebed who refused to shoot at the protesters, gave the order to withdraw tanks from Moscow, and supported Boris Yeltsin. And that's it. Other army generals, as soon as they saw Lebed doing it, followed his example, and it was enough for the USSR to fall. Now, if Lebed obeyed the order, well, we would still be living in the USSR. Well, we kind of living in the USSR again, but a different one, if you know what I mean. A more recent example. Remember 2010, Egypt, Tahrir Square, Arabic Spring started? A fellow named Mohamed Morsi became the president of Egypt as a result of large protests and ousting of a previous president. And Mohamed Morsi lasted for 3 years, until the generals of the Egyptian army, led by the Minister of Defence Al-Sisi, easily staged a coup and seized power. Mohamed Morsi was sentenced to death, pardoned, but still later died in prison in 2019. Mr. Al-Sisi, the former Minister of Defense, is still Egyptian president, recognized by everyone. If we look back into history, we'll learn that most coups d'etats were executed by military forces of countries. I hope now you understand who Shoigu is. To prove my words, remember in early 2022, when Russian army couldn't capture Kiev and was forced to retreat, then later flew Kharkiv region in the most disgrace. That was a shock for Putin, for many other Russians, for SILOVIKI for sure, for all SILOVIKI out there. Shoigu soiled his pants in the most disgraceful way in front of the entire world. What should have been done with the man directly responsible for that such failure? He should have been fired. Putin was mad at Shoigu, but kept him as the Minister of Defense instead. Absolutely inadequate, absolutely unprofessional, absolutely disgraced guy, he kept him. Illogical from the point of view of common sense, but very logical if we consider that Putin values people for their performance. No, not for their performance. What does he value? What do you think? Putin values people for their loyalty. Okay, that's very different from performance of Shoigu is absolute, crap. But loyalty, oh yeah, he is loyal. And Shoigu is among the most loyal. Shoigu has the key to Russia. He is the key master. He controls the army. He controls the money flows. He is Putin's guarantee that if anyone rises against the Tsar, then Tsar's loyal servant Shoigu, the military man, will step forward and protect the Tsar. Blessed is he who, in the name of charity and goodwill, defends the Russian Tsar through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with a great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is Sergey Shoigu when I lay my vengeance upon thee. It's not my line, sorry. It's Shoigu's. Can't you tell I watched a little too much of Pulp Fiction? So, to knock foundation out of Shoigu's feet, a big deal is needed. And Ivanov is that big deal. The corrupt deputy, and by the way, the corruption is not going to cut it. A very insignificant part. Everyone is corrupt. Putin knows that corruption is the leash that he's keeping everyone on. So, $11,000, give me a break. I am sure that they are either secretly charged him with something much more serious, say treason, or will change the charge in the future for something much more serious. They will say, well, we investigated and we found further crimes, something like that. So, the question number one, why Timur Ivanov? The short answer is it's Shoigu. It's not Ivanov. Ivanov is just a tool to get to Shoigu. Question number two, why now? The answer is very simple, and it is simply time is right. The president election is over. The sugarcoating is over. I've been talking about it for the past, 6 months. Before March 17th, before the election happened, the government had to maintain a facade of pink ponies in Russia. General well-being and stability. Stability is this holy word in Russia, holy concept. Everything is about stability, okay? That's a different stream altogether, okay? But stability is the biggest value somehow Russians have. So, a deputy minister of defense, a two-star general, just cannot be arrested for bribes and corruption. I mean, give me a break. What kind of stability is that? So before March 17th, no. But after the 17th, hey, no problem. This is why Timur Ivanov was arrested now, not before. And the question number three is, I think the most important question is, who is behind? The answer is we do not know at this point, but there are two theories, and they're both bad for both Shoigu and for Putin. First theory is Vladimir Putin himself is behind the arrest. He is the architect. For some reason, he needs to tighten control of Shoigu, to shorten the leash, so to speak. If this is true, then Putin must have very serious concerns about Shoigu. You see, Putin doesn't like to do anything in public. He doesn't like to, in Russia, it's called «выносить ссору из избы», to take dirt out of the house. He likes to maintain the myth of stability, but the arrest of the deputy minister of defense that happened, again, is far from stability. So that's a very unpleasant event for Vladimir Putin. Second theory, and then Putin must have a huge reason to do that, okay? And basically it means that Shoigu is up to something. Second theory, some powerful clan, say a group of SILOVIKI, wants to replace Shoigu with their own puppet. They want to control the armed forces, the ultimate force in Russia. How to topple Shoigu? By taking stepping stones. Discredit him with Ivanov. Then later discredit him with another one, Ivanov-like. Then repeat. Then frame. Then frame in repeat. Then discredit again, and so forth. Small steps, or perhaps big steps, and many of them. They need to keep on pressing the Tsar. And the Tsar will bend sooner or later. Both theories are very bad for Shoigu. I see the chair under him dangerously rocking. It is serious. Everyone knows the importance of Ivanov. FBK, Navalny's organization, did a big investigation report on Ivanov and his family. They did it a couple years ago. It's out there in the public. Everyone knows how rich the guy is. Everyone knows how important he is for Shoigu. And Everyone knows he's Shoigu's wallet, okay? Everyone knows that Ivanov is the holder of Shoigu's many secrets. He is the money, he's the wallet, he's everything. So to arrest Ivanov, it's not easy. The rumors have it that Ivanov always had a special, like a army SWAT team around him at all the times, and they had orders to shoot everyone, including SILOVIKI, who, you know, if in case of arrest or, you know, attempt of murder or something like that. So to arrest Ivanov was not easy. That's a huge operation. One needs the permission of the Tsar himself for this step. And we are certain that Putin authorized the arrest, as Shoigu did not say a word today. You know what he did? He fired Ivanov silently. Now, if it wasn't Putin, it was somebody else, some other clan, that Shoigu would be putting up a fight. He would be defending, standing up for Ivanov. He did not say a word. He just silently fired him today. And probably discharged from the army, 2-star general, just like that. It means that Putin authorized. Either way, Shoigu has lost so many points yesterday. But it's also bad for Putin. He needs one thing and one thing only, to maintain status quo. He needs his system of the vertical of power to be stable. Imagine a boat. It's a boat. A boat needs to keep stability. It keeps on going forward, okay? And it must be stable. Anything but, you know, whatever can happen to it, but it needs stability. If it starts rocking left to right, and the more it rocks, the more it leans. At one point, it leans too much and takes water. And then, kaput. Putin's system is the same. For this system, rocking is not good. And no matter who is behind Ivanov's arrest, Putin or other strongmen aiming at Shoigu, Putin's friends, it's not good. Ivanov's arrest is rocking the boat big time. Showing everyone that something is rotten in the kingdom of Russia. Showing that the game, the power game, is on. Ivanov is so powerful. Well, he was so powerful. But his public arrest is the declaration of war of Russian elites. Everyone understands that. Most likely, you know, if we look a little underneath the surface, under that carpet, look at the bulldogs, we will see that most likely they've been at war for quite a long time. But this is the active stage, the declaration. With the public arrests, you know, it's publicly, the war is on. Anything goes now. The gloves are off. Whew. By the way, if you are wondering how you can help this channel, you can buy me a coffee or an English breakfast tea, which I absolutely love. That'd be fantastic and much appreciated. Thank you. I'll put link down below. You know, remember I started this live stream with a phrase of the great man, Sir Winston Churchill. An outsider only hears the growling, and when he sees the bones fly, well, I just gave you the first part of this phrase. I said, and I would say, the second part of the phrase, you know, is an outsider only sees the growling. When he sees the bones fly out from beneath, it is obvious who won. And, you know, we are seeing the bones flying out of beneath now. And Timur Ivanov is the first bone. And many are to follow. Do you know why I think that Russia will lose and implode? Because this initially very strong political system, the vertical of power that Putin has built, becomes weaker as the elites fight. Their stake is life, and their price is absolute power. They fight with no reserves. They fight until the end. Their efforts are geared toward others inside Russia, inside Russian elites. They could care less about Ukraine. They all desire to become rulers of Russia, and when they become rulers, to stay rulers for as long as possible. And with every move they make, with every step they take, with every arrest, with every Ivanov compromised, imprisoned, and punished, the system becomes weaker. They will devour each other to the point when the system will simply fall apart. And most likely, the system will be consumed by the fire of a civil war. By the way, do you agree with me on that or not? I'd love to get your opinion. Please write it down below in the comments. Please do. Feedback is absolutely invaluable. I would love to hear your opinions. And this is the official start of the war of the elites. 24 years for one guy is a long time, and we need some change in Russia. Friends, get your popcorn ready. Sign up to become the patron of Inside Russia to receive 9 daily news so you can stay informed every single day and join me enjoying this show. And now, please check out another video I made documenting how I was leaving Putin's Russia for good. I was in a great hurry, only had 36 hours to leave, so the link is right here. Check it out. Carthago delenda est.